exploiting, how he's building his own pride. See, using you and using everyone. See, a lot of people are users. See, a lot of men are users. That's why women resent men, because men are users. The average man is a user. Even if he's a decent guy and has a decent job and goes to work and comes home every night and so on, he's still a user. He uses the wife to support, the woman to support his ego. See, and he uses work to support his ego, and sports to support his ego, and his kids everything is to support his pride. He's a user. A lot of kids resent their dad for that. He's not supposed to. Father is not supposed to be a user, but he is, and he's very, very wobbly. Very, his ego is very fragile because it's built. It's a house of cards. If he had real substance, if he found his center of dignity, if he found a bond with his Creator within, with principle, then he would be solid, and he wouldn't, and he would also be humble. That doesn't mean weak people pleaser. It means not prideful. He could stand tall and be forceful and courageous, like George Washington, and yet have a humility about him, because he's not doing things for his pride. He's doing things for principle, for honor, for the good of others. You see what I mean? In a selfless way. Well, okay, so a man is supposed to be honorable and noble, and not prideful. But most men are prideful, and in order to sustain their pride, they use the woman to sustain his pride. See, his pride in his animal. See, and then his ambition pride. He requires her, see, to lie to him, and he requires her to support him in his ambition. So the woman senses that he's using her. She senses it in bed, everywhere she senses that he's using her. So she resents him for that. But then she feels guilty for resenting them, so she's extra nice to him. And then when she's extra nice to him, then he takes advantage, and then she resents him for that, you see. Round and round. But she has had experience with men, beginning with her father who failed her, who wasn't there for her. And then she went out into the world looking for love, and she found use instead. And so undoubtedly she has a lot of anger and judgment toward men. See, a woman can't help but judge a man. You look, here comes any man, and she can watch him for a couple of minutes, or 5 minutes, and then she can see there's the pride that craves support. She sees it. She sees the weakness, the pitiful, sniveling weakness. See, and then she resents that. She resents him for that, but then her resentment, see, backfires on her, makes her feel guilty, so then she's nice and supportive of him, see, out of guilt, out of resentment, out of guilt for resentment. So it's all based on resentment and judgment, you see. So you have a marriage like that, where a lot of women think, well, I'll marry him, and then he'll improve after we get married, or I'll whip him into shape. But then she finds out that her supportive love, which is what he requires, demands. If he doesn't get supportive love, then he's like a drug addict. He craves her support, and if she withholds it, then he may go out into the world. Then he may transfer his allegiance to work, to money, to the bottle, to other men, to another woman. See. So that's the way it is. That's the way the average family is. See, and then you go out in society, and society is built on this faulty relationship. See, if men loved the woman, if he loved her, if he didn't demand love from her but gave love, see, if he was the center of love because he has a bond with his Creator, so through him comes agape, motionless love. See, and then everyone respects father, respects her husband. She respects her husband. Okay, she may come to love him if she loves the good in him, the good that's coming through him. That's the same as loving God. See, and thereby she is okay. Okay, but a lot of men don't have any good in them. They're just all ego and shallow, weak creatures. See, that's why women resent them, because they don't like the wimpy, weak man. Because the weaker he is, see, the more angry and fierce she becomes. Pretty soon she's dominating him. So some women make the mistake of trying to find a seemingly strong man, see, to balance her fierceness that she senses coming out in her anger. But instead he turns out to be maybe violent, cruel. See, so she went from the frying pan into the fire. So both men are wrong. The weak men, the womanizing man, the people-pleasing man are wrong. The angry man, violent man is wrong. The compensating man, see. So some men, have bought into the lie that sex is love, and then they get married and they think it's going to be hog heaven, and because they have this woman supporting them, and they go out the door ambitiously to try to bring home rewards to her, so she'll keep supporting his ego. But something is wrong. See, something is wrong, and she's resenting him underneath. She wants something from him. He doesn't know what she wants. What she wants is real love, real agape love, fatherly love.